All right, so first off, give all praises to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also Shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. All right, we're closing in to the last couple of videos on Revelation 13 and verse 12 before we move on, Lord willing. All right, so we're still speaking about verse 12. Let's go ahead and read it first. Okay, Revelation 13 and verse 12, it reads, "And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." So before we go on with some more reading about the Renaissance, if you're just now clicking on this video or this channel and you find yourself lost or not understanding what we are talking about here, there are previous videos. All right, we started at Revelation 13 and 1, and even before this, we started at Daniel, the second chapter, because we are in the midst of talking about this beast. Okay, this beast that we're in now, which is a dominion, a kingdom, a rulership. Okay, the Edomite rulership. All right, and we're talking about the Renaissance era, which the Renaissance means rebirth. All right, so what was it the rebirth of? Okay, the Edomite rule. Okay, they were taken down for about 1,000 years and then able to be loosed, or they were loosed to go on lying and gathering people unto itself, all right, deceiving the people. And these things that we have been going over, all right, shows the deception. All right, people may think that it's a small thing. It might have just been art and literature and philosophies, and that it's not a big thing. But when you understand the truth of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, you will see that it's deeper than that. As it says here, as a matter of fact, we'll start with this verse, Ephesians 6 and 12. All right, it reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Okay, there are things going on. All right, the things that are unseen are greater than the things that are seen. Okay, and this next verse is very important also. Okay, so we can sit here and speak on the truth of the scriptures, point to you where we are, as far as the scriptures are concerned. All right, and people still are going to be worried about everyday shit, man. Okay, they're not going to come to the truth. But again, this is how it was written to be. All right, it is known by the true men of the Lord that this isn't for everyone. Not everyone is going to turn and start paying attention to who the world ignorantly calls God. All right, even though through their lips they'll speak about having faith and loving God. All right, which his name is Yahweh. Okay, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, so Ephesians 6 and 13, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand." And this truth is the biggest part of what's going on down here right now. All right, getting this truth, which allows you to put on the armor. All right, which is truth. Okay, and we're talking about this beast and how he exercises the power of the first beast and causeth all to worship that beast. Okay, if you don't know the truth of that, that's going to sound like something that's not real. Okay, but these things are faithful and true. This is not a fairy tale book. Okay, this is the truest thing on the planet. All right, it is more real uh, than anything on this planet, man. This truth, all right? It is living and speaking. This is the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, okay? That he left here for our learning, all right? So again, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. All right, you'll have to understand why you're putting on armor in order to put on the armor. All right, you would have to know that we are at war. All right, a spiritual warfare. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get to some reading. All right. So what I asked here is what holidays, and remember we're speaking about the Renaissance, okay, and Rome. All right, this beast. Okay, this is the second leg of Rome. America's the second leg of Rome. All right, and America and the rest of the heads of this beast and the horns, all right, make up this Edomite empire. Okay, this beast system. All right, that people have fallen under the divination of. All right. So again, I asked, what holidays and beliefs stem from Roman and Greek culture that most people may not consider? Okay. It says many popular modern holidays and traditions have roots in ancient Roman and Greek practices, a fact that can be overlooked due to the passage of time and the influence of other cultures, namely Esau, Edom. Okay. It says many of these connections relate to the seasons and the cycle of death and rebirth. All right. So it goes on to say holidays and traditions. It says Christmas traditions and the Roman Saturnalia. It says the Roman festival of Saturnalia, a week-long celebration in mid-December honoring the god Saturn, is the source of many modern Christmas customs. Okay, it says the Romans marked Saturnalia with feasts, games, and the exchange of gifts. The use of evergreen plants such as wreaths, holly, and ivy to decorate homes was a Roman tradition. These represented fertility and the continuation of life during the darkest part of the year. The Romans would light candles and torches during Saturnalia to represent the return of the sun after the winter solstice. As Christianity grew in the Roman Empire, many Saturnalia traditions were absorbed into the celebration of Christmas to help convert the pagan population. The Roman festival of Sol Invictus, or the Unconquered Sun, also celebrated on December 25th, made this transition even smoother. All right, but you don't convert people with lies. All right, have truths. All right. So it says Valentine's Day in the Roman Lupercalia. It says the popular association of Valentine's Day with romance is thought to stem from the pagan Roman festival of Lupercalia, celebrated on February 15th. Lupercalia was an ancient fertility festival. As part of the celebration, young men would draw the names of young women from a lottery to be their companions during the festivities. All right, now you can go into these things deeper yourself, right? This is just giving you an outline, right, to show how much deception has went on. All right, and people will find excuses to uphold Lupercalia or Saturnalia. All right, they'll give it different names so that you feel better about doing these things. All right, you'll feel like since this world gives you those days off for the most part, that you should be celebrating that. This is how this man is, or this empire is causing, okay, causeth all the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, okay? by bringing their manner of life into this modern day. All right. And whether you believe it or not is not going to make a difference. All right. The truth is always going to remain the truth. Okay. You're just going to have to answer to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai on the Lord's day. Okay. Which, again, all right, the only ones that are going to make it up out of this place, America, or the only ones that this truth is for, all right, is the remnant and the elect. That's all, and that's it. All right. So it goes on to say carnival in the Greek Anthesteria. All right. It says the Greek festival of Anthesteria, held in late February, had a role reversal element that is echoed in modern day carnivals. The Anthesteria was a celebration of the wine harvest and honored the god Dionysus. During the festival, social restrictions were lifted and people, including slaves, women, and children, participated in the festivities, all right, indoctrinating everybody into this. It says the element of swapping places with social superiors is a recurring theme that later influenced other winter holidays and carnival celebrations. All right, beliefs and concepts. Give me a quick second. All right, beliefs and concepts. It says the idea of the weekend or day off. It says unlike modern work schedules with guaranteed weekends, ancient Rome and Greeks had a different concept of rest. Roman festivals, or feriae, acted as regular breaks from labor. The Roman calendar was full of religious festivals that provided days off from work and legal proceedings. These days of rest were tied to honoring the gods, providing a religious justification for not working. Now, they've made this a sly way without even telling you to honor the gods. All right, this is what you do on days off. We just spoke about that. All right, so they give you certain days off in order that you may honor the gods that they have given you. All right, just think about these holidays. It says the Roman festival of Parentalia, which I haven't heard of Parentalia. All right, I didn't know about the weekend or day off thing. I just know that they're slick in giving you days off for their holidays. All right, and people have no clue what the Lord's holy days are. All right. So it says the Roman festival of Parentalia focused on honoring dead ancestors and evolved from the belief that spirits should be properly honored and appeased. The festival was held in February, and during this time, Romans would bring offerings to the graves of their deceased relatives. This ancestral veneration may have influenced or shared its roots with later traditions like All Souls Day and Dia de los Muertos, which also honor the dead. All right, now it goes on to the importance of sports. And again, this is an outline. You go look at these things yourself and consider, all right, what did the Lord say about what to do and what to honor and what not to honor? All right, what to make graven images towards and what not to make graven images towards. Should you make any graven images? Should you bow down to anything? Should you worship anything other than Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai? All right. So it says the importance of public sports. It says many people don't realize the extent to which organized sports like the Olympics were deeply tied to ancient religious and cultural beliefs. The ancient Olympic Games were held every 4 years in honor of Zeus at Olympia. Attending the games was a form of pilgrimage, not just a sporting event. All right, all the way up until today, the Olympic Games, okay? It says festivals like Panathenaic procession in Athens reinforced civic pride and identity. They showed devotion to the city's patron deities and strengthened community bonds. All right, so on and so forth. So again, we can see here, or you should be able to understand here, verse 12, and how this beast is exercising all the power of the first beast before him. All right, the beast being the Edomite system. All right, this rulership. Okay, it forces you into their way of thinking. Okay, their manner of life. All right, the Lord told us not to learn the ways of the heathen, and here it is. We've made an excuse. Well, their traditions have become our own as Israel. Okay, this is what we have been woken up from. So not only that, but we can also see the second part of the verse, and causeth all the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. All right. So this goes the calendar also. All right, this calendar that we go by. All right, the Gregorian calendar. Okay, this is not our own. All right, there were no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as it showed in that video. I think that video that we went over showed a little bit of that. All right, it mentioned it. As a matter of fact, I do remember now, and it did mention it. All right, so I'm gonna cut this video right here, and we're gonna come back with just a little bit more, and then we'll move on, Lord willing, to chapter 13, Revelation chapter 13, and the 13th verse. All right. So with that, I hope this came through as sincere and edifying. All right. And with that, all praise to Yahweh in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.